A leader is defined as the person who leads or commands a group for a common cause. During the Civil Rights Movement, the famous name that everyone hears is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. But what about the other leaders who had an impact? What did they do? And how did their leadership benefit the cause of our civil rights? The Civil Rights Movement led to several new leaders to step up. Rosa Parks, a NAACP activist and a woman instigator who did not want to give up her seat on the bus, started the chain reaction that caused the Montgomery bus boycott. The boycott consisted of African Americans refusing to use public transportation for over 380 days. While Rosa Parks was an important instigator, she wasn't exactly a leader. She didn't take the main action in planning the protests and boycotts. She just attended them. The next woman leader is Diane Nash. Nash was a founding member of SNCC and was one of the most respected student leaders during the sit-ins in Nashville, Tennessee. She was arrested several times for her participation in sit-ins and being a part of the Freedom Riders. Not only was she a SNCC founder, sit-in participant, and Freedom Riders participant, she was a voting rights activist and fought to secure voting rights for African Americans. All of Diane Nash's efforts and achievements led to her and her husband receiving the Rosa Parks Award by MLK. In 1965, Stokely Carmichael was a leader of SNCC alongside with MLK, who strongly believed in Black power. Carmichael and King started the Selma to Montgomery March in March of 1965, which led to Bloody Sunday and Carmichael getting arrested. After seeing the violence the police force gave during Bloody Sunday, Carmichael's views switched from wanting peaceful protest to challenging the police brutality in cities, which led to the creation of Black Panther. Another protester is E.D. Nixon. Nixon was the president of the NAACP, who organized the Montgomery bus boycott with MLK and Carmichael. After bailing Rosa Parks out of jail after her refusing to change seats, Nixon knew that the time to initiate the Montgomery bus boycott was now. E.D. Nixon also helped organize the Montgomery Voters League since he was a voting rights activist. Bill Russell is known as a widely famous basketball player who won 11 championship rings with the Boston Celtics. What was never really brought up was his influence on civil rights. He was the first African American basketball player in the NBA and spoke out for civil rights. He encouraged other NBA players who were African American to start their careers in basketball and speak out for their rights. Muhammad Ali was a leader and utilized his popular culture stage to battle separation in the war in Vietnam before any other person in the spotlight had. He remained against the Vietnam War and stood up over and over again against prejudice and later crusaded against Islamophobia in the U.S. In 1962, soon after Ali had beaten Sonny Liston to end up world heavyweight champion, he joined the extreme dark social liberties development, the Nation of Islam, and changed his name to Muhammad Ali. In 1967, when Dr. King stood up against President Lyndon Johnson's acceleration of the war in Vietnam, the press asked him for what valid reason he had. He was not just concentrating on the household issue of social equality. Louis Armstrong is known for being a famous musician. However, it is often not clear of his roles during the Civil Rights Movement. While many people were involved, there were some who were involved more silently. Louis Armstrong was one of those men. Louis Armstrong fought for civil rights by connecting people through his music, by joining people regardless of race or an economic class. Louis Armstrong would integrate blacks and whites through his music, and he would often be involved in the civil rights movement silently and musically. Reverend T.J. Jemison organized a 1953 bus boycott in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He led the nation's largest Black Baptist organization and was a black clergyman recognized as a leader of the first generation of the civil rights movement. He was a founding member of the SCLC along with Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Reverend Ralph Abernathy. He was the president of the nation's Baptist Convention USA from 1982 to 1994, and he was known for his political skills in the early days of the civil rights struggle. Leaders have helped shape the civil rights movement and would also be the cause of African Americans gaining their well-deserved rights. Although their names were not as big as MLK, they did serve a serious purpose in gaining civil rights.
And I think to myself,